figured. Yeah, I know. It's time to celebrate. The sunshine is out and it's summertime.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, as you know, Donnie, under my Paris Food and Wine banner, which is the events arm of local food and wine, I've been organizing tastings for visitors and also corporate and private events. And some of those champagnes that I've showcased recently, one, for example, it's Lallier, and they're a beautiful champagne. They're based in Aix, which is actually the same village as where Boulanger is based. So it's a Grand Cru. It's a Grand Cru village. And their Grand Reserve Grand Cru is a beautiful champagne. It's 65% Pinot Noir and 35% Chardonnay. And both of those varietals of grapes, they source them from Grand Cru villages, meaning it's the villages that are classed as yielding a higher quality grape. Yes. And it's a beautiful champagne. It has notes of like a buttery brioche, and it's apricot fruitiness, and it also is balanced with a gorgeous vivacious freshness. So chilled in an ice bucket, it's just a beautiful champagne to enjoy at any time, but especially now as it's summer.
And that's Lallier.
Yes, that's Lallier champagne. So they're a medium-sized house. They're easy to find in France, and they are on the export market quite healthily as well. So
and what do you recommend drinking?
Canada.
I mean, what do you recommend eating with Lallier?
With that one, with the Grand Reserve Grand Cru, I would recommend. Actually, that one is substantial enough to even pair with. It's because of the buttery brioche. You could pair that even with like a nice lobster salad.
That sounds wonderful and perfect for a night like tonight here in Paris. It's nice and warm, and you can sit outside. I can't think of anything better to do. And so Lallier is one of your choices. Do you have any others?
Yeah, I have two more for you. I have Lanson's White Label. That was released in 2012. And it's a very interesting release. Well, number one, the bottle is extremely recognizable because it's all white. So it's kind of a design departure. And Lanson is a really big brand here in France and also in the UK. But they're actually only just on the U.S. and Canadian market since the last year or two. But this White Label is it's a very interesting champagne because the winemaker specifically chose to play with scents and aromas. So this is actually a very fun tasting champagne because, for example, what you can do is put out like little dishes of minced mint, basil leaves, some orange peels, very, very fine orange peels, a dish of nice, beautifully, perfectly ripe raspberries, and then, of course, the quintessential wild strawberries. And if you take each of these separately and you do a little tasting of them with the champagne, it evokes the aromatics of this White Label Lanson just so beautifully. It's like an exploration in sensory delight.
Wow, that sounds absolutely magnificent. I love that idea. I've never thought of tasting mint along with champagne, and that's brilliant. It sounds incredibly refreshing, incredibly summery. And what's number 3? Both L's so far, Lallier and Lanson.
Yes, Lallier and Lanson, yes. So now we're going to go with the J. And this one is Jacques de France, so Jacques de France. And it's actually from a different area, the more southern area of Champagne called the Lobe. The nearest big town would be Troy. And this champagne is quite distinct. I love it. from the little town called Lerici. And Lerici is another area of France that's actually designated as a rosé appellation. So it's so the rosés here are very distinct and they're fruit forward. They're just lovely.
So is the Jacques de France a rosé champagne?
Yes.
Oh, that's my absolute favorite. I love a pink champagne. There's nothing like getting together with a group of ladies and have some pink champagne. Listen, we've got to take a quick break now for our commercials and announcements, and we will be right back with Paige Donner here on the Girls Guide to Paris on the radio at Overseas Radio Network. We'll be right back.
You're tuned in to OverseasRadio.com, your online radio resource about life abroad.
Chérie amour, lovely as a summer's day. My chérie amour, distant as a moon.